What is going on, guys? I am excited to bring you guys back to another deal review. I hope you guys liked the first one that I did, where I just talk about what we do every single day and how my team and I get our clients' deals to the finish line. Now, if you guys are new here and you don't know who I am, my name is Ricardo Carrillo. I am the branch manager for RC Lending. I run a nationwide mortgage lending team. We help all of our clients across the entire US scale their real estate portfolio, and we do this by trying to save our clients the most amount of money out of pocket that we can when they're getting into their properties, which allows them to continue to reinvest into more and more deals. Now, one of the things that I really enjoy doing is walking my clients through how we structure a lot of our financing deals, because I'm the type of person, I like to explain things the same way that I would want them explained to me. So part of that structure is for me to basically walk through the specifics of the deal and talk to my clients about those specifics and how we can find ways to save them more money, but also getting better interest rates on the type of loan program that we're getting, as well as better loan terms. So this happens at the beginning of the deal. Now, the way that we structure this is a little unique because I always do a pre-approval first. So we're figuring out what can our clients actually qualify and what can they actually purchase. And so a lot of the deal planning happens at that beginning stage. When you're going through the pre-approval process with your lender, you're trying to decide, how am I actually going to be able to get the property that I want to buy? What kind of financing is that going to look like? So most of the time, people will have to come to somebody like myself because we have access to a lot of different lenders. And so the way that we operate is we have relationships right now with, at this point, I think close to 120 different banks that are in our network. And so through all of those banks, we have the ability to see, what kind of loan programs are they offering? How does that get structured for our clients? And then where can we come in and make suggestions for financing? Think of it like a Expedia, but for mortgage lending in reality. Now, this specific client is a client who's going to be closing on a property pretty soon here. It's a really unique deal because most people try to find properties where you have the ability to buy it with a specific loan program, but split up the house so that you can make more money in like different structures. So this specific property, 3 units on 1 lot, but it's classified as a single family residence. So it's a single family house. It has 2 what we call ADUs, or additional dwelling units, which is basically like a detachment in the back side of the house. So we have the single family, we have the 2 ADUs, and they want to basically be able to rent out all 3 of those units in order to drive revenue. The property was listed at $774. And the client closed on it at $790. Now, a way that we structured this deal started from the very beginning, like I mentioned. This client has a very, very successful company that does multiple millions of dollars, like upwards of 10 million plus per year in revenue. The downside is that he writes off all of his income, and so he doesn't qualify for normal financing. Now, when we walk through a deal like this, my typical goal is to get our clients into a property with a minimum of a 10% down payment. I'm going to walk you guys through how he got through the deal, but I'm also going to walk you through how I would have gotten through the deal so you guys can see the difference here. The property, why don't we jump into the deal review time now? But I want to share my screen so you guys can see this. And so I want to talk about 2 different structures here. So like I mentioned, the property was listed $774, but we ended up closing at $790K. And so he's purchasing it for $790, but the type of loan program that we're using is the piece that's unique here. So because he doesn't qualify for normal financing off of his tax returns, the way that we were able to get him to qualify was through a type of loan program called a bank statement loan. Now, bank statement financing is at a minimum of a 10% down payment when you're buying a property as like a second home or vacation home, and at a minimum of a 20% down payment if you're buying it as an investment. In this situation, the client is buying the property as an investment, and so we closed on it and he was putting 20% down. However, because this property has 2 ADUs, most banks actually wouldn't be willing to finance this deal. If he had originally taken this to a local bank or taken it to like Chase Bank or Wells Fargo, none of them would have been able to close because they don't offer solutions for properties like this. We were able to get what's considered an exception approval, which allowed for my client to close on the property, but at a minimum of a 25% down payment. So pivoting this, we were at a 25% down payment, right? So we have $790K with the 25% down. That's essentially the money for the down payment. But if we calculate it out, let's see, we got 790. So we're at 790K purchase. Let's take that. We're going to multiply it by 25%. Let's do 25% here, 25%. That is 197,500. Now, closing costs I always recommend that you budget somewhere in like the 4% range whenever it comes to like a property of this kind of capacity where we're coming in with a larger down payment, but it's still an investment property and the kind of structure has to be done a little differently, right? So let's take the 790 and let's get 4%. So we are at 31,600. Now, total out of pocket on this, paid, right? Total paid was this 197,500 plus 31,600. So this client was coming in with a total of 229,100. Now, this was the total out of pocket to close, but the unique part here was that this property is going to be rented with these 3 different units once he's done. Now, I don't have the specifics of the numbers for furniture and design and repairs and whatnot. I'm estimating that that would be a good chunk of change. He's probably upwards of over 100K. However, the key here is how much revenue he's going to be generating just simply from the kind of deal that we're buying, and how long is it going to take for him to make this money back that he's spending. So the piece that's unique here is because we have those 3 units, he can split those up, and at this property is going to be generating upwards of over $20,000 a month, just simply from the fact that he has additional units that could be split up. So somebody could rent the entire property, somebody could rent one house, and somebody else could rent out the other 2 units. Obviously, it's a shared space, and so sometimes if you have a shared space on Airbnb, it can be a little bit trickier, but in this situation, I don't see why he wouldn't be able to get all of these units rented, and the idea would be to bring larger groups. You'd be surprised. People pay a ton of money for properties. Just like when I purchased, when I took my friends and my family to the Napa property that I booked, like people are spending crazy money when it comes to booking these nice Airbnbs if you're structuring it like an actual destination. So I just briefly want to walk you guys through that so you understand how we did this and the way that their numbers are working themselves out. So I'm seeing that revenue would be somewhere around 20K a month, right? But the monthly payment is what we'd want to calculate out here. And so that's what I'm going to take you guys through now. Let's look at this. We have the total, which was 790. Bam. We are doing a 25% down payment, which is 197,500. We ended at an 8.5% interest rate over 30 years. I am also now going to calculate out what we would expect for property taxes and insurance. And so on a deal like this, you're probably spending somewhere around $2,500 a month to $2,500 to $3,000 per year on insurance. We have monthly expenses, which wouldn't come in this situation. There's no additional fees like PMI, like we normally have on most deals. But we take the 790. So let's do BAM 790, and we're going to do 2% for this location for property taxes. So 15,800 is what we come back in. We put this number in for 15,800. Total payment comes out to 6,080 with 81 cents. So just in these 2 numbers, it's like 14K a month in cash flow, which is like crazy. Even if you consider it on a conservative note, like think about just what that would do with one single property. And this is why like I have clients who will structure a deal like this. You know, we come in, they're getting 14K a month, but in total 20K. Like he's almost gonna make this entire 229 back in just 1 year of renting at $20,000 a month, which to me is insane. The numbers that people can find with short-term rentals is crazy. And the piece that I like the most is where we could come in and structure a deal. And so what I would have suggested in a situation like this, if we could have done it, would have been to do a 10% down second home loan through the bank statement loan program. So this is where the key really comes in with my clients who are self-employed, who have businesses that do a lot of revenue, but want to still be able to write everything off so they can continue to qualify for more properties. I really hope you guys found this helpful. I know this, I ran through it super quickly, but it's something that is very important when you're looking at deals and you're trying to figure out how to underwrite a deal, looking at the numbers and making sure that it makes sense, but also making sure that the financing makes sense from the perspective that's going to save you guys the most money. If you guys need help with financing or you have questions on financing, you want to scale your real estate portfolio, there's no better team than my team to be able to help you guys get to the finish line. We have the resources to get you to that point. You guys can visit our website, rclending.co, and you can schedule a call with my team, or you guys can reach out to me and follow us. We have our weekly vlogs that we're going to continue to post, and I'm going to continue to do videos like this on real life scenarios because it's literally what I do every single day, and you can get me to talk about real estate 24 hours a day. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. If this was a new video for you guys and you hadn't seen my other videos, we're gonna keep doing these videos, 2 videos a week that we are doing now, and has me behind the camera, talking to you guys more, explaining what it is that I'm actually doing in my day, and taking you guys through the path of scaling a real estate portfolio and building wealth through real estate. So we will see you guys in the next video.